Okay, hello everyone. Okay, so we're going to go through your homework for exercise 7.3. Okay, I assigned I think 5 questions, 10, 12, 14, 15 and 17. So let's go through them. Okay, so this section of the topic, okay, we are looking at scale factors and map scale. Okay, so first question I think is on scale factor. So over here in the diagram, the pentagon ABCD is enlarged to pentagon APQRS. So ABCDE enlarged to APQRS. Okay, means this is the original, this is the enlarged one. Okay, so they tell that AB is 16, BC is 12, BP is 12. So they ask you to find the scale factor of enlargement. So to find the scale factor of enlargement, you need to know a pair of corresponding sides, okay? So in this case, since I know AB and I know AP, I can calculate that. Okay, I can use the scale factor of, I can use that to find the scale factor of enlargement. Okay, so let's take a look at the answer. Okay, so scale factor of enlargement will be AP over AB. So as I said before, scale factor, okay, if it's enlargement, it will be more than 1. If it is a reduction, it will be less than 1. Okay, usually we will always put the newer figure on top and the original one below. So in this case, my original is AB, my enlarged one is AP, so AP will be on top, AB will be below. So on top will be 16 plus 12 over 16. Okay, so 28 over 16. Simplify the fraction, okay, you get 7 over 4. Okay, then we move to part B. Okay, part B asks you to find the length of PQ. So if you now know that you know the length of BC, which is the corresponding side of PQ, and you know this scale factor, okay, you can use that to find what is PQ. So in this case, they just straight away use the calculation. Okay, this one will work if you are very clear on what is going on in terms of your calculation. If not, okay, always go back to comparing the ratios. Okay, so to compare the ratios, what I can do is this. Okay, so I know that PQ is what I'm trying to find. Okay, the corresponding side to PQ is BC. Okay, this will be equals to a known pair, which is AP over AB. Okay, with this ratio set up, okay, then you do a substitution. You know that BC is 12. Okay, so sorry, let me bring this up a bit. So PQ over 12 will be equals to, AP over AB is 7 over 4. You can write that 7 over 4. Then you do some shifting. Okay, you realize that you get back to here. Okay, so if you are not very sure whether it's times 12 divided by 12, do I do 4 over 7 or whatever not, always go back to how you set up, okay, when you are doing, let's say for example, similar figures. Okay, so you know that PQ is to BC just like AP is to AB. Then you do a comparison, you do a substitution, then you will not get wrong so easily. Okay, yeah, okay, so that is question 10. Quite a simple short question, okay, just to check your understanding on scale factor. Okay, next we move to question 12. We move on to map scales. Okay, so in this case, we have a map. Okay, 2.5 cm on the map represents 1 km on the ground. Okay, so map length 2.5 cm, actual length 1 km. So find the scale of the map in terms of 1 is to r. Okay, so in this case, you know that 2.5 cm is to 1 km. Okay, so first step, okay, is always to convert them to be the same units. So 1 km, if you convert into cm, okay, 1 km is 1,000 meters. 1,000 meters, you multiply by 100, you get 100,000 cm. Okay, so this is how you get from this to this. Okay, if you want to do an in-between step to meters, okay, in case you do wrong, I think that would be good. Okay, then after that, the following step, okay, you want 1 is to r. Okay, so you need one of the left hand side, okay, the map side to be of 1 instead of 2.5. Okay, so you divide both sides by 2.5. Okay, you will get 1 is to 40,000, and of course at the same time you can remove your unit since both are in cm. Okay, so you can remove, so it's 1:40,000. Okay, that's the map scale. Okay, next, B, if the actual area of the lake is 4 km square, okay, find its area on the map in cm square. Okay, so this is the area scale. You need to establish the area scale. So you already know that, for example, you know that once, okay, so over here, I think due to some skipping of steps, you're not very sure of the exact ratio, but I think we can roughly derive that 1 cm is to about 0. Something km. Okay, so give me a moment. Okay, so you need to find this, but before this, of course, establish the area scale. Okay, so I think they straight away jump into the area scale. Okay, but I think what I teach you in class, let me just do a quick writing a little. Okay, what I teach you in class is first you establish the length scale. You want km square to cm square, so you need to have a length scale in terms of km to cm. You know that 2.5 cm is to 1 km. You divide both sides by 2.5, so 1 cm will be to 0.4 km. Once you know this is the length scale, 1 cm is to 0.4 km, then you can apply square on both sides. Okay, so area of 1 cm by 1 cm will be equivalent to area of 0.4 km by 0.4 km. So you can take 1 square cm square to 0.4 square km square. So you take the square of 0.4, you get 0.16. Okay, so once you have this scale, okay, then what you need to do is just to solve. Okay, so you know that this is the scale. They ask you to find the actual area is 4 km square. Find the area of the map in cm square. So if this 0.1 cm is to 0.16, so if you want 4 over here, okay, then you take 4 divided by 0.16, okay, times 1, okay, you will get, okay, over here they do it by this way, okay, but I believe the calculation is still the same. Okay, the way I teach in class is you will, okay, maybe let me also write it out. Okay, sorry. Okay, so the way I teach in class is if you have 1 cm square is to 0.16 km square. Here I want 4 km square. Then this side, my cm square, I will take 1 divided by 0.16 times 4. Okay, it's the same thing lah. At the end of the day, just 4 divided 0.16. But like I said, this way of doing, okay, will be clearer, because sometimes when it comes to scales and ratios and all this, some people are a bit confused. Do I divide by 0.16? Do I times 0.16? And so on. Okay, so yeah. Okay, last part, if the area of the park is 2.5 cm square, find the actual area in km square. So if you know that map is 2.5, yeah, map is 2.5, what is actual? So if 1 is 0.16, then 2.5 just take 0.16 times 2.5. Okay, so you get 0.4 km square. Okay, quite a simple question. Okay, we move to question 14. 14, okay, similarly, okay, a region on actual map is 18 km square represented by 2 cm square on the map. Okay, if the area of village is 0.25 cm square on the map, find the ground area in km square. So this is already area scale. So you can make use of this area scale. If 1 cm square represents 18 km square, now of course, sorry, if 2 cm square represent 18 km square, then 1 cm square represent 9 km square. Then you want to find 0.25, then you just divide by 4, okay, you get, so okay. So this is what I just said. Okay, 2 cm square is to 18 km square. So establish that in terms of area scale, 1 cm square is to 9 km square. So it's already in area. Now you want 0.25. So left hand side is 0.25. So divide by 4. 9 also divide by 4. Okay, so or you can just take 0.25 times 9. You get 2.25 km square. Okay, find the scale of the map in the form of 1:r. Okay, so 1:r, meaning from this area scale, I need to convert back into a length scale. Okay, because 1:r is a length scale. So I know 1 cm square is to 9 km square. Then I'll take the square root of both sides. Because when I do from length to area, I square both sides. From area back to length, I will square root both sides. Okay, so from 1 cm square, this is my area scale. I square root both sides, it will become 1 cm is to 3 km. Okay, so this is my length scale. Okay, maybe let me do a screenshot so I can write something. So over here, okay, this is my area scale. This is my length scale. And how do I get to them? I square root. Okay, so from here to here, I square root. So 1 square root is just 1 lah. Square root of 9 is 3. Okay, then after that, I don't stop there because when I want 1:r, okay, the units must be the same. So we start off with something similar to just now that question. I have 1 cm to 3 km. How do I convert it into this form? First, I convert them into same units. Both must be in cm. So 3 km is 100,000 cm. Just now I said 1 km is 1,000 meters. 1 meter is 100 cm. So 100 times 1,000, 100,000 cm. Okay, so 300,000 cm. Then you remove the cm on both sides. You get a scale of 1:300,000. Yeah, and that's all. Okay, for question 14. Okay, next we have question 15. So 15a, also another very similar question to what we have just done. 1 cm is to 300 meters. Scale in the form of 1:r. So by now you should be familiar. First step, okay, convert them both into same units. Okay, second step, make sure left hand side is 1. In this case, it's already 1, so it's quite convenient. Then the last step is to remove the unit. So in this case, 1 cm is to 300 meters. Okay, same units, I will just need to multiply by 100. Okay, so 1 cm will become 30,000. Remove units on both sides. Okay, just 1:30,000. Okay, find the length in cm of the line on the map that represents a road 10 km long. So 10 km long, you might want to convert this scale into km for easy to refer. So you want the map to be in cm, the actual to be in km. So one way you can do is 1 cm is to 0.3 km because 300 meters is 0.3 km. We divide by 1,000. Okay, let's see how the workbook does it. Wow, the workbook went to do the full calculation. Okay, but another way, maybe let me show you how else it could have been done. Okay, so based on the usual way that I teach you in class, if let's say I have 1 cm is to 300 meters, they want the distance on the map in cm, and they give you the distance on actual in km. So I convert this to km, 300 divided by 1,000, I get 0.3 km. Okay, once I have this scale, okay, 1 cm is to 0.3 km. Okay, all I need to do is to now just, my right hand side to find 10 km. So this is 10 km. So what do I need to do on my left hand side? Okay, 1 cm is to 0.3 km. So I take 1 divided by 0.3 times 10 km. Okay, once I have that, it's basically just 10 divided by 0.3. I will also get 33 1/3 cm. Okay, I think this is clearer and simpler. Okay, you are always keeping track of what you are doing, which is the side, and then do you multiply or do you times and all this. Okay. Okay, so that's part B. part C, a forest is represented on the map by a rectangle measuring 2 cm by 1.8 cm. Find the actual area in hectares. Okay, so now we are going to do area scale. Okay, so in this case, they are trying to come up with an area scale. So, okay, you need to find in hectares, okay, but they already give you 1 hectares is in 10,000 meters square, so it's okay. Let's establish the area scale in meter square first. After we find out the meter square, then I convert back into hectares. Okay, so in terms of meter square, so I already know that 1 cm is 300 meters in terms of the length scale. So my area scale will be 1 square cm square to 300 square meter square. Okay, so that will be 1 cm square is to 90,000 meters square. You want to convert it into hectares, you know 1 hectare is 10,000. Okay, so you can, okay, so they didn't straight away convert. Okay, but you know that 1 cm square is 9 hectares already. Okay, just from that. Okay, then they find the area, map area. So it's a 2 cm by 1.8 cm, so they take 2 times 1.8 is 3.6 cm square. Okay, once you have the map area, okay, you know that 1 cm square is 9 hectares, 3.6 cm square is just be 3.6 times 9, you get 32.4 hectares. Okay. Okay, the way they do it is usually just do the multiplication, but you need to be very clear of what you're doing. Okay, if not, the way we did in class is always I put map to area, map to actual to do the comparison. Okay, so that you don't lose track. So if 1 cm square is to 9 hectares, then 3.6 cm square will be 3.6 times 9. Okay, so 32.4. Okay, I think we are at the last question. Question 17. Okay, question 17. I think it is similar to the last question that I skipped, okay, in our classwork. Okay, I think I briefly run through with you. I did mention in class how to do it, okay, but I did not have time to go through the full question. Okay, so let's take a look together. I have 2 maps now, 2 different maps, okay, of the same place. This means that, you know, they have 2 different scales. The park is 12 cm square on map A, 18.75 cm square on map B. Okay, that given that the scale, okay, on map A is 1:50, okay, or 1 cm is to 50 meters, find the scale of map B. Okay, so the thing that will tie these 2 areas together is the actual area. The actual area of the park is the same, okay, because they're representing the same park. Okay, so since the actual area is the thing that tie them together, of course, first step you need to find what is the actual area of the park. Okay, so to find the actual area of the park, you know that for map A, this is the length scale, 1 cm is to 50 meters. I need to establish the area scale. Once I establish the area scale of map A, I can find out what is the actual area of the park, because this is 12 cm square on the map. Okay, so the actual area, once you find the actual area, okay, you can use the actual area with this map B's area to establish the scale of map B. Okay, so let's begin. So first I establish the scale of map A. So 1 cm is to 50 meters. I think here there's a typo. 1 cm is to 50 meters. Okay, how come they want? Okay, never mind. So there's typo here. So 1 cm is to 50 meters. Okay, but to establish the area scale, okay, they use 1 cm square is to 50 meters square. Okay, so if you square both sides, okay, use 1 square cm square is to 50 square meters square. So 1 cm square is to 2,500 meters square. Once you have this area scale, is 12 cm on map A. So every 1 cm on map A represents this amount of actual area. 12 cm will just be this times 12. Okay, so the actual area of the park will be 2,500 times 12 is 30,000 meters square. So this is the thing that we're trying to find that joins them together. Okay, so now I know this is the actual area of the park. This 30,000 meters square is represented as 18.75 cm square on map B. Okay, so the scale for map B will be 18.75 cm square is to 30,000 meters square. So 18.75 cm square to 30,000. Okay, so that's what they have just written. Now I need to come up with the scale of mat B. So I need to reverse this into a length scale. Okay, so how do we do that? Okay, first step, okay, I bring this back to a ratio of 1 is to something. So I divide this side by 18.75, I divide this side by 18.75, I realize that I get quite a nice number. 1 cm square is to 1 cm square is to 1,600 meters square. So once I have this area scale, just like how just now I square this from the length to the area. From the area back to the length, I will square root. So I square root both sides, it will give me 1 cm is to 40 meters. Okay, so square root 1 cm is to 40 meters. Okay, so they never say the scale of mat B must be in what scenario, so you can just leave it as that. Okay, but usually the question will say, you know, maybe in 1 is to R or 1 cm is to how many meters and that kind of stuff. Okay, so you just follow accordingly. Then, so yeah, we have it. Okay, so 1 cm is to 40 meters. That's the scale of mat B. Okay, if not, that is all. Okay, if you have any questions, okay, after watching this video, you can just let me know, okay, so that I can explain a little more, any part that's not very clear or it's a bit confusing. Of course, I said the working is a bit different from how I teach you in class. In class, I always put left-hand side as the map, right-hand side as the actual, and then we do our calculations from there so that we know which is which. Okay, so yeah, okay. So otherwise, yeah, that's all. Thank you.